My multi-part look at the Jaws series continues with a look at 1983's Jaws 3, known originally as Jaws 3D. While 3D in film is a kind of interesting cycle of popularity on its own, 5 years to the previous sequel, this falls under the level of gimmick category. In fact, the copying using to write this not only not having 3D is actually the least of the film's problems. Also, the film takes place at SeaWorld. This was before Universal's Hollywood Park took off and before the one in Orlando even opened, so let's get this started. This time around, the director Joe Alves, who mainly worked on production design not only in the previous films but also on Closing Has the First Kind and Skip New York, both much better movies. He was also the second unit director of the last two films, but this is the first and last time he directed himself, and it's hard not to see why. The script was written by, of all people, I Am Legend author Richard Matheson, joined once again by Carl Gottlieb, so let's open this up. We open another point of view shot of a shark as it eats some fish, and right off we get to see how campy the 3D looks in hindsight. I'm expected to be on the A level of Avatar, but this is cheesy. This is going to be a long 98 minutes, isn't it? Another attack on some water skiers, but there's not any build-up compared to the first film. The music is alright with Hyde Parker doing an alright job adapting the score. It's not a good sign when the critics say the movie is suggested by the book rather than adapting it. We're introduced to the Brody family, Mike played by Dennis Quaid, and Sean played by John Putch. They're also dating Catherine Morgan, played by Bess Armstrong, and Kellyanne Bukowski, played by Leah Thompson. Between this cast and how casual they're making out in this tavern is, could this be any less 1983? The centerpiece of the park is a man-made lagoon that connects to the ocean via an underwater channel, and the preview was overseen by Kevin Bouchard, played by Louis Gossett Jr., and Philip Fitzroy, played by Simon McCorkindale, the infamous Manimal. Yes, that's a real show. It happened, a lot of it happened. A crewman has trouble at the gate. We get some fake-out jump scares with the fish, but we see a really bad 3D shot of his arm. I know it was 1983, but the practical work in the same summer for Return of the Jedi still holds up in 2D. I also don't get this standoff game they're playing in the bar. Is it something this movie made up, or is it just something that people did when the time didn't have Pac-Man? There's also a scene on the beach where they're playing tag in the tents or something, but trust me when I say the movie will keep getting sillier from here. Mike decides to prank his brother just as someone else eaten by the shark along with his boat. I guess no one told Joe Alves he wasn't making a cartoon. The next morning, before the shift begins and they're reflecting on the night before, I had to wonder, how much did they pay to get Tropicana and Wheaties in this movie or other brands? Mike then gets a call about Chevy Overman, played by Harry Grant. His wife reported Chevy missing. Mike then goes to a submarine with Catherine to look for his body in the lagoon. And between the model work and the set control room, the film has some very shoddy blue screen composition. Even by 1983 standards, I don't think 3D would have helped either way when it looks like parts of the movie were shot in someone's fish tank. They find the shark, and of course Fitzroy wants to kill it on camera like he's precursor to Muldoon from Jurassic Park. Catherine wants to study the shark, but Mike wants to get rid of it. They also use MSG-22 in their tranquilizer, so they're basically going to trank it with the same additive they have in the bottomless fries at Red Robin. Bouchard also says they can kill it if they have to, but for basic explosives due to the way the lagoon is built. Gee, I wonder if that will come into play later. I'd also like to point out this movie cost reportedly $18 million to make at the time, but looks like a mid-season episode of the A-Team. They do end up catching a shark and a new story for a preview period in the process. Thank goodness we're already more than halfway through this thing. The opening preview period has begun, yet with more campy 3D effects and some touchy-feely tentacles in the haunted section lagoon. This movie's rated PG, fellas. Get your mind out of the gutter. While the preview period of Disneyland in the 50s were documented as a mess, making its eventual success even more miraculous, things start going downhill with each passing moment, not just with the bad chroma key and fake eel props. First, the shark they caught dies, then Chubby's body turns up in the lagoon. There's also problems with the oxygen pumps, and the second shark is on the scene, none too pleased about what's happened to her child. Mike starts ordering everyone out of the water, but he's talking so fast he sounds like an auctioneer. The water skiers don't quite make it, though thankfully we only have about a half hour left. Another dilemma is people trapped in an aquarium walkway, and the chroma key this time is laughable as is the shark prop. Even though the music claims it's just so cheesy, Mike and Sean start making plans to get the shark and evacuate the trapped park guests. Anyway, Fitzroyce and Jack Tate, played by P.H. Moriarty, go underwater, hopefully get their catch. And despite Alfred's best efforts, the whole scene, and especially the last 20 minutes, will be just so comical. Oh, they try to cage the shark, but then the shark starts popping out like it's in a Jack in the Box. Fitzroyce gets eaten, and as the park gets evacuated, we now get the infamous scene of the shark crashing through the command center. I guess the slow-mo was supposed to make it look spookier, but the fact the shark is almost static during the sequence invokes laughter from many an online reviewer. Long story short, the shark gets blown up with the explosive sub near the beginning, an explosion of blood and teeth is just so overblown it looks like it came from a Happy Tree Friends cartoon. Also, some of the jibs are ET dolls, who knew? We then close on the park being safe, including the dolphins, if this was an old episode of Flipper. This was a dumb movie, but I definitely have fun talking about it.
Yeah.
Though this film did make a decent $45 million domestic and $88 million worldwide on its $18 million budget, it was another decline from the previous movie. It was also roundly panned with a 12% Rotten Tomato score, a 27 rating on Metacritic, and a 3.7 out of 10 IMDb rating. The film also marked another decline in the campy soft parody, though the worst is still yet to come. Sorry about the delay, but I'm saving my energy for the end of this marathon. Fire rating is 1 star out of 4. A multi-part look at the Jaws series concludes in October with 1907's Jaws: The Revenge. Later.